If you found yourself thinking this shouldn't be happening yet, this video is for you. If you're still getting everything done, showing up for work, for family, for responsibilities, but if it feels harder than it used to, and your body feels unpredictable in ways it never did before, I want you to know that you're not alone. In my practice, I work with so many women in their late 30s and early 40s who tell me something very similar. They say, I don't feel broken, I just don't feel like myself anymore. They're dealing with things like mood swings that seem to come out of nowhere, fatigue that doesn't match how busy they are, brain fog, digestive issues, low libido, and stress that suddenly feels much harder to tolerate. They're still functioning, but it's costing them more. And often they feel confused because this isn't how they expected this stage of life to feel. You might be thinking, I'm too young for this, or maybe I just need to push through. But what I want you to understand is this: what you're experiencing is not weakness, it's a lack of resilience. And it's not in your head, it's early hormone and nervous system disruption. And let me explain what that means. For many women, hormonal shifts begin years before menopause is ever discussed. Estrogen and progesterone don't decline in a straight line. They fluctuate, sometimes dramatically. At the same time, chronic stress plays a much bigger role than most people realize. When stress is ongoing, whether from work, parenting, poor sleep, or simply carrying too much for too long, the nervous system adapts and it becomes more reactive and less flexible, less resilient. Blood sugar regulation is also closely tied to this. When blood sugar spikes and crashes throughout the day, it places additional strain on the nervous system and amplifies hormonal symptoms. This combination, hormonal fluctuation, nervous system overload, and blood sugar instability, creates a perfect environment for the symptoms many women describe: mood changes, irritability, fatigue, digestive discomfort, and a sense of being emotionally on edge. You might be thinking, but everyone is stressed. Why does it feel like my body can't handle it anymore? And that's an important question. The answer is that stress accumulates. Your body can compensate for a long time until one day it can't. And when that threshold is crossed, symptoms show up, not because you failed, but because your system is overloaded. This is where many women get stuck. They try to push through, they drink more coffee, they work harder, and they tell themselves, toughen up. But pushing through doesn't stabilize the system, it destabilizes it further. You might also be wondering, why didn't anyone catch this sooner? Or why did my labs look fine if I feel so off? Standard lab testing is often not designed to detect early dysfunction, it's designed to diagnose disease. So by the time something shows up clearly on paper, the body has usually been compensating for a long time. That doesn't mean nothing's happening, it means the warning signs are showing up first in how you feel. And let me share a story that might resonate. A woman in her late 30s came to my practice frustrated by MDs and the never ending cycle on nonstop medications. And she told me, I'm scared. No one is giving me a solution besides taking these pills forever. She recently had a miscarriage, and then she was told she had high blood pressure, thyroid disease, and a kidney condition. She began a strong regimen of drugs, but her quality of life continued to decrease. Instead of focusing on only her symptoms, we dug deeper to look at her full health picture: her blood sugar, her inflammation, her stress levels, and her hormones. We focused on bringing her stability, then allowing her body to heal. In time, her blood pressure normalized, she felt strong in herself, and her medication load dropped off. The biggest takeaway was not just resolving her symptoms. She said, I feel better than I ever imagined I could. And this is important to reflect on. Your body signals you in subtle and not so subtle ways. When you give your body the support it needs, it rewards you. Early intervention matters. When these patterns are addressed early, the body can recover much more efficiently. When they're ignored, they often deepen over time. This stage of life is not something to push through blindly. It's a window of opportunity, a chance to stabilize your system before symptoms become chronic or entrenched. At Carolina's Natural Health, and in my practice more broadly, we often work with women at this exact crossroad, not because something is wrong with them, but because their body's asking for a different approach, one that prioritizes nervous system regulation, blood sugar stability, and hormone support appropriate for this stage of life. The goal isn't to fix you. The goal is to help your body feel safe enough to function the way it's meant to again. Now, you may be watching this for a couple of different reasons. You may be watching because you already have an upcoming consultation with us and you're trying to understand whether what you're feeling actually fits into a bigger picture. Or you may have found this video while looking for answers because something hasn't felt right and trying to make sense of it before things get worse. Either way, the most important thing I want you to take from this is this: you're not imagining your symptoms, you're not overreacting, and you do not need to wait until things fall apart to take yourself seriously. Your body is communicating with you, and when you listen early, outcomes are very different. If you do have a consultation coming up, my hope is that this video gives you language for what you've been experiencing and helps you feel more confident asking questions. And if you're simply gathering information right now, I hope this helps you feel less alone and clear about what kind of care actually makes sense at this stage. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I hope this brought clarity to what's been going on.